Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay. My arms are just tired from clapping along. I don't know how he did that. Let's show him a ton of love. Coffee Man. Wow. That is Evan's Coffee, everyone. Thank you so much for starting us off in such an incredible way, incredible energy. Evan's Coffee, many of you know him as Coffee Man. He's a performer for many of us who've seen him in the community for many, many, many years, many different spaces and places, always bringing that kind of energy. It's a phenomenal way to celebrate anytime, but certainly to celebrate Black History Month. Happy Black History Month, everybody. And Coffee Man is originally from Ghana and uses drumming and powerful storytelling and hands-on demonstrations of instruments like the djembe and talking drums. And I think you could feel how he's inviting us into really important conversations and narratives through that performance. It's a really beautiful and powerful way to communicate with all of us. So I'm Uzoma Asagwara. I am Manitoba's Deputy Premier and Minister of Health, Seniors and Long-Term Care. Such an honor to be your MC for today. I want to thank everybody for making the time to be here with all of us. I want to acknowledge that we are gathered on Treaty 1 territory and that Manitoba is located on the treaty territories and ancestral lands of the Anishinaabe, Nishniniwak, Dakota, Eote, Dene Suene, and Niitawak nations. We acknowledge that Manitoba is on the homeland of the Red River Métis. We acknowledge Northern Manitoba includes lands that were the ancestral lands of the Inuit. It's always really important for us to start, events and gatherings with the land acknowledgement, but particularly during Black History Month, when we were reflecting on the history of Black peoples who have been here for many, many hundreds of years on these lands and the relationships that Black peoples have had with the first peoples of these lands. The relationships that are interwoven. It's important that we understand those histories, those stories, that we amplify them, that we learn, that we unlearn, and that we ensure that those stories continue to be told as we move forward. So I want us to recognize that when we do these land acknowledgements, particularly on days like this, when we talk about respecting the spirit and the intent of treaties and treaty making, that we all acknowledge we have a role to play in remaining committed to moving forward in a good way, in the spirit of truth, reconciliation, and collaboration. We have a number of folks who are joining us today who are going to offer remarks and greetings, but I want to first acknowledge that we have a number of wonderful community elders who are with us today. I won't name you all. You know who you are. I'm not going to age you. But I think it's really important that we acknowledge that there are many elders who are with us from the Black community who have paved the way for Black History Month to be celebrated in the Manitoba legislature, which is, as the Premier aptly always reminds us, the people's building. And there are folks in our communities who fought very hard for us to be in this people's building. And so if you consider yourself to be a community elder in the room, if you wouldn't mind standing up so we can acknowledge you and thank you for paving the way for generations of Black Manitobans to be where they are and where we're going. If you could, please, just rise, if you're able. I noticed there were a couple of elders who didn't rise. That's okay. We know who you are. We thank you. It is always a good day when we get to gather in community, and an even better one when we're joined by leadership that shows up with intent. We have a number of government officials here. We have a number of NDP caucus members, MLAs, ministers who are here. We have a city councilor, Councillor Chambers. Thank you so much for joining us today, the first Black person elected to any level of government here in Manitoba. We should acknowledge that. Thank you for joining us. We have, it's also really important to acknowledge that the first ever Black History Month event ever hosted in the Manitoba legislature was actually hosted by our caucus when we were in opposition. That was the first ever Black History Month ever hosted. And that event was hosted with the full support of the then opposition leader and now Premier Wab Kinew. And it is an absolute privilege for us to be hosting yet another Black History Month as government. And I'm so honored to be able to introduce not only the Premier of Manitoba, but someone who has stood in true solidarity with Black communities for as long as I've known him, and certainly long before that, and shows up for our communities each and every day. So please join me in warmly welcoming Manitoba's Premier, Wab Kinew.
Happy Black History Month, everybody. Oh, no, wait. Sorry, let me try that again. On behalf of the province of Manitoba, happy Black History Month. This is a beautiful gathering, and it's so great to join together in positivity to celebrate the excellence of the Black community here in Manitoba. And as Uzoma was saying, it's a long history. I want to begin by shouting out the organizers of Black History Month Manitoba. Can we put our hands together to show our appreciation for the people who make this happen all month long? And it was a few years ago, during one of the COVID years, that the organizers asked me to participate in an event where they actually explored the history of Black people in this part of the world. And there's one family in particular that I remember from that, the Bonga family. The patriarch of that family, his name was George Bonga. 200 years ago, he was an interpreter. He was an Afro-Anishinaabe person, to be clear. So he was an interpreter. He spoke the same language that I grew up with, the Anishinaabe language. He signed treaties. He negotiated treaties. He was a deal maker. He was a traditional person. And he was right here on what is now Manitoba and Minnesota. And so you think about the celebration today having long roots, it truly is going back centuries and centuries of pride and achievement here in Manitoba. I also wanted to shout out Coffee Man. As Uzo said, known Coffee Man for many years. He actually showed, there we are. Thank you, brother. Nice to see you. We performed together. My political staff don't want me to say this, but I rapped over top of him playing drums years ago. And On a more, maybe like a more like important level, he showed me the talking drum, right? He showed me the talking drum. He goes, say something in your language. And so I said, miigwech. You all know what miigwech means, right? Living here means thank you. So I said, miigwech. And then he played his drum. Poo-poo, poo-poo, right? And I was like, okay, this is amazing. He's showing us like how the long distance communication was happening back in the day in doing a translation from Anishinaabe Moen, the language that I speak, into the language of the talking drum. So thank you for being such an amazing force for good in our cultural landscape here in Manitoba. The Deputy Premier also beat me to the punch. I wanted to acknowledge Marcus Chambers. All the best to you and your wife at this time, but thanks for leading the way as well. So one more time, at least, show the appreciation. And if you can believe it, you know, you could look at this from a, like, why did it take so long? Or you could look at it as, from the perspective of like, man, I'm glad we got some good people elected. But it wasn't until 2019 that the first black MLAs were elected. So shout out, of course, to Uzoma Asagwara, Jamie Moses. Shout out also to Audrey Gordon. We don't agree on politics, but certainly she deserves her due. And I'm so glad to be able to serve with the three first black MLAs in Manitoba's history. I'd also acknowledge Willard. I don't know if he's here today. I believe he's the first black person to be the leader of one of the major parties in Manitoba. Though, if you want to know who the first black premier is going to be, I'd probably put my money on one of these two. I'm not saying they want to, and I'm not saying the job's going to be open anytime soon. But if you're looking, as somebody who's done the job, if you're looking for people who are capable of the job, without a doubt, these two have the capability. And so Jamie is the first black man to serve as a cabinet minister in our province's history. I'm really proud of that. And Uzoma is the first deputy premier who's black in Manitoba, and I'm very proud of that. And so for the young people, for the students in particular, first time I came to this building, I was on the outside with a protest sign in my hand. Now I get to sit around the cabinet table with these folks and make decisions about schools, hospitals, the environment, roads, all sorts of different things that are really, really important. So I want you to look at Uzoma and Jamie and everybody else who is here today, Marcus and all the rest, and to understand that this is the normal. This is the baseline. As Coffee Man said in the opening, there's no going backwards. There's only going forward. So whether it's premier, whether it's mayor, whether it's prime minister, CEO, captain of Team Canada, leader in the arts, leader in music, leader in business, whatever it is that you have in your mind to do with your life, just to be a good mom or dad, just to be a good brother, sister, relative. All these things are open to you. Part of the celebration of black history and black excellence is just to send a message to the young generation that the road to the top is open. It has been paved by the sacrifice of many who came before us, but now the legacy is happiness, joy, and fulfillment for you. So happy Black History Month to everybody, and I could not be happier than to celebrate it with you.
Thank you so much, Premier. That was a really wonderful, really wonderful speech that you've offered to everyone here, really impactful words, and really positive, which is what we all need at all times, but certainly, you know, on a day like today, and a month like February, that's the message that we need to hear from leaders. And, you know, this is a Premier who understands that building a stronger province means investing not only in people and infrastructure and all of that, but bringing people together, right? Bringing people together. We are one province, we are one people, we are one community, we are one Manitoba. That means something. right? That's a message that the Premier started that I'm now hearing from members of our Black community, from all communities, championing that we are one Manitoba. So thank you, Premier. Our next speaker is someone that many folks know, has a long and proud history here in the province, is a leader who has poured so much into our communities over the years. Pastor Calvert Lane is a founding voice and guiding force with Black History Manitoba. Pastor Lane has been instrumental in creating spaces where Black history is not just remembered, but honored, celebrated, and carried forward with pride. His leadership has helped ensure Black stories, contributions, and excellence are recognized as part of Manitoba's Black history and Black story. We are grateful for his wisdom, his steady commitment, and his continued work to uplift our community and all communities. So please join me in welcoming Pastor Calvert Lane to bring remarks.
Thank you. Premier Kinew, Minister Asagwara, Minister Moses, Councillor Chambers, other members of the legislature, and honored guests. I am particularly honored to be here representing Black History Manitoba, an organization that I am proud to be a part of and to have served on the executive committee over the past 30 years or so. Over that time, I have seen the selfless commitment, sacrifice, and effort of Black community leaders, educators, organizers, ministers, church organizations, and many other individuals who have worked tirelessly to improve the lives of Black people here in Manitoba and to ensure that we are able to take our rightful place in this society. Also to highlight the enormous contributions and difference that our community has made and continue to make here in Manitoba. And also to impact and engage our youth, to equip and empower them to achieve more than we could ever dream possible. I'm so proud to see that a new generation of young leaders are taking up the proverbial mantle and are already making an incredible impact in this city and province. One of those leaders is our esteemed Program Director and Chair, Nadia Thompson. Here is her message to you. Of course, I would have loved to be here, but we are hosting our Black Student Union Summit with over 280 students and teachers from across the city. We're so excited that so many students have chosen to take part this year, some even on their day off from school. That goes to show what positive and lasting effect we have made on our future leaders. A big thank you to Premier Kinew for putting on this event again. He mentioned last year that this is the people's house. So I'm asking for next year that he check the calendar on the fridge so that we can make sure we don't schedule any other event at this same time. We are so grateful for the unwavering support of Minister Moses, Minister Asagwara. Black History Manitoba has been supported by this government and led by these two. We can't thank you enough. The year 2026 commemorates 100 years of recognizing and honoring Black history, its culture, and contributions. Throughout the month of February, Black History Manitoba will host a series of educational, cultural, and community-centered events that reflect on the past, celebrate the present, and inspire future generations. Here in Manitoba, we are celebrating our 45th anniversary. Our 2026 Black History Manitoba theme is Rooted in Legacy, honoring a century of Black history, 45 years strong in Manitoba. To take a quote from the scriptures, Psalm 1 verse 3 tells us that you shall be like a tree rooted by the rivers of water, that bring forth your fruit in your season. Your leaves will not wither, and whatsoever you do shall prosper. Black History Manitoba is also excited to bring back our community awards at the closing banquet. We put out a call for nominations in various categories, and we had an overwhelming response of over 200 nominations, again signifying the growth and commitment that have shown our community efforts all over this province. There are still many events that are coming this month, including our family celebration this coming Monday, February the 16th. Movie screening on Friday, February 20th. The job fair on February the 21st. Social exchange BHM network lunch on February 22nd, and much, much more. For more information, you can visit our website, bhmwinnipeg.com, for more information. Our goal is to build upon the legacy of those who blazed the trail for us and on whose shoulders we stand. Their roots are buried deep in our society. We believe that our upcoming generation would make us proud in the future. And so we are asking our young people to build upon the legacy that we have created for you and to continue to work tirelessly for the success not only of our people, but of all Manitobans. Thank you.
One moment, I'm going to borrow my remarks back. Sharing is caring. Okay, so thank you so much, Pastor Lane, for those beautiful, beautiful remarks. Can we just acknowledge that one more time? Really wonderful. Really wonderful. You know, and it is so important to mark it's 100 years, but here in Manitoba, 45 years celebrating Black History Month. And many folks, probably most folks in this room know Wade Kojo Williams, right? Who really fought very hard for Black History Month to be established in this province. He's a staunch, unapologetic advocate for minorities here in the province. You know, as a young Black kid growing up in St. Norbert, one of the few Black families in that community, Mr. Williams was the father of my very best friend to this day. And so it's incredible, these connections that we have throughout our lives in community, and how he couldn't probably have imagined at that time that this little kid who was showing up at his house, trying to get his son to play basketball with me. His son had no interest in sports whatsoever. But you know, that this friendship that we were forming in his household and in the friendship in my own, that he was paving the way for us to live our lives authentically and to be able to host an event like this today in the People's Building. So 45 years of Black history in Manitoba is something to be incredibly proud of. And as Pastor Lane said, we want to make sure that the next 45 years are even better and brighter. I want to take a moment to acknowledge that we have a number of youth who are with us today. Minister Moses, myself, Councillor Chambers, and others, we have been to so many schools during Black History Month. It's incredible to see what young people have established in their schools that we never had growing up in this province. Phenomenal work being done by the leaders of today. Young people are not the leaders of tomorrow, you are the leaders of right now. And I see a number of you who have joined us today. Thank you so much for making the choice to skip school and be here. Just kidding. Just kidding. No. As a Nigerian, you know I would never actually say that and mean that. Education first and foremost. But let's take a second to say thank you to the youth for showing up for their leadership encourage them moving forward. Thank you so much for being here. And now we're about to experience something truly very special. Two brilliant young sisters, Isosa and Ariella Iyawe, who are using their voices, their words, and their artistry to move us. Our young people, like I said, are leading right now. These sisters, are an example of that. Clarity, courage, and creativity, they share their words and are already making an impact through poetry. Isosa and Ariella remind us of where we have been, where we are now, and what is possible when we dare to speak the truth and to dream boldly. Please join me in warmly welcoming Isosa and Ariella to perform.
Good afternoon. My name is Isosa Iyawe.
My name is Ariella Iyawe.
We are grade 11 and 10 students from Grand Park High School, and we will be reading and analyzing a short poem, I Too, by Langston Hughes, written in 1926 during the Harlem Renaissance, a time when Black artists and writers were reclaiming their voices in a country that often tried to silence them. I Too, by Langston Hughes. I too sing America. I too am the dark brother. They send me to eat in the kitchen when company comes, but I laugh and eat well and grow strong. Tomorrow, at the table when company comes, nobody will dare kitchen then.
Besides, they'll see how beautiful I am and be.
Hugh begins this poem with 4 simple words, I too sing America. In just one line, he makes a bold claim. He does not ask for permission, he does not apologize, he declares that he too is a part of America.
In the poem, the speaker says, they send me to eat in the kitchen when company comes. This image represents segregation, the reality that throughout history, Black people were pushed aside, hidden away, and treated as less than. The kitchen symbolizes exclusion. It symbolizes being told you do not belong at the table where decisions are being made. But the speaker does not respond with bitterness. Instead, he says, but I laugh and eat well and grow strong. That is resilience. This is quiet strength and preparation.
And then he follows with, tomorrow I'll be at the table when company comes. Tomorrow. Not someday or maybe, but tomorrow. This is not a request for a seat at the table. It is a promise that someday, the table in this poem is power, leadership, and equality. It represents the space which laws are made, policies are decided, and where voices are heard. And today, we are seated in one of these places, inside the Manitoba Legislative Building. A place that historically did not include everyone, a place where many voices were once excluded, where people who looked like Langston Hughes were once denied not just a seat, but their voice. Yet here we are gathered, presenting, speaking, and leading. This is what I too represents. The journey from the kitchen to the table, from exclusion to participation, from silence to representation. Hugh ends the poem with one declaration. I too am America, not separate from it, America.
Black history is not separate from Canadian history. It is Canadian history. The fight to sit at the table, to vote, to lead, to be represented has shaped this nation and this province. And today, as we are seated here in the Manitoba Legislative Building, we are not waiting for permission to belong. We are here because generations of Black, Afro-Indigenous, and Indigenous people fought for that seat. I too reminds us that progress takes time, but belief in the future is powerful. It reminds us that even when voices are pushed aside, together they continue to grow. Because writers like Langston Hughes, people who spoke up, created spaces, and refused to accept exclusion, we are at the table today. We are able to gather like this to celebrate Black history openly and to recognize Black voices are essential and worthy. Their courage helped make moments like this happen. Thank you.
Thank you, and
and
happy
Black History Month.
My goodness, keep the applause going, folks. Just beautiful. Thank you so much, Isosa and Ariela Yahweh. I'm so proud of you. You know, aren't we so proud of them? Yes, we are. We're so proud of you. Well done. Yeah, the youth are just fine. The youth are awesome. The youth are inspiring the rest of us. So well done, and thank you so much. It is now my absolute pleasure to introduce a truly, truly multi-talented artist and cultural ambassador. If you have ever had the opportunity to see this person perform, you know what you're in for. Originally from Nigeria, Bola Oriyomi has been captivating audiences as a one-person powerhouse since 1994 through storytelling, singing, theater, drumming, and dance. Bola brings African folk tales and traditional culture to life with energy, wisdom, and heart. She has performed across Manitoba, Canada, and across the globe. With a rich background in theater arts, education, and history, she combines deep knowledge with vibrant performance, making every story absolutely unforgettable. Bola also leads the Area Africa Cultural Group, a contemporary African troupe. She has also published collections of African folktales. Her work has been featured on CBC Radio and local Winnipeg television. She's a phenomenal, phenomenal writer. If you have not picked up her books, you need to do so. Please join me in very enthusiastically welcoming Bola as she shares the stories, songs, and rhythms of Africa. Beautiful. All right. How's everybody feeling? Such a good, just love Black History Month. Why is it so short? You know, the shortest month, just why? You know, that's okay. I always bring that up every chance I get. But guess what? Here's the good thing. We can actually celebrate Black History Month 365 days of the year. Wow, so why don't we do that? 365 days of the year. I'm now going to ask Councillor Chambers to come up and offer some remarks. Councillor Chambers.
Good morning and happy Black History Month. It is such a pleasure to be here today on behalf of Mayor Scott Gillingham and my council colleagues at the City of Winnipeg. It's important to acknowledge the early pioneers that came to this country, to these lands. Back in the 50s and 60s, the wave of immigrants from the Caribbean countries, and more recently, the wave of immigrants from Caribbean countries that are here. It's important to acknowledge the work that they've done in the past in, bringing us to a place now. Obviously, there's still work to be done, but to a place that is better for us and for our children. I've been talking, I was earlier this morning as a Sister McNamara School doing a reading and chatting about Black history. And I was so impressed with the kids, grade 5 and 6, that knew all of the stories of Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King and Ruby Bridges that, were pioneers of their time that allowed us to be here today. We're on the shoulders of those giants that have broken ground, have softened the ground for us to be here today. So it is important and incumbent upon us, as we are here today, to mentor our youth, to make sure that they know the stories of the past, of their history. It has been said that we are descendants of our ancestors, but we are also ancestors to our descendants. So it's important for us to share those messages so that they know about their history, so that they know which direction to go to. In that mentorship, it's great to know that this year here in Winnipeg, we will be hosting the Pan-Canadian Black Summit for Black Youth. Absolutely. It is an annual event that it will be taking place here in the city of Winnipeg. Former Governor General Michael Jean has a foundation that is supporting Black youth here in this country. I had the opportunity in 2025 to attend with our Deputy Premier Asagwara, and we both felt impacted by that event. Just to see youth getting together and mentors getting together in the same room and sharing space and hearing about the stories and hearing about the triumphs. Yes, we recognize that history was not that kind to us in terms of being enslaved people, but it doesn't define us as a people. And to hear the stories of triumph coming forward, again, I was impacted by that, and I'm certain that the Deputy Premier was as well. So great things coming to the City of Winnipeg. I'm so glad to be here in this province, so proud to be here in this province, where we see Black History Month every year getting bigger and bigger and bigger. More momentum, more traction. And I get to give kudos to my colleagues, and I'm calling you colleagues as MLAs, to bring Black history here to Manitoba, to pass those laws that recognizes Black history here in Manitoba. I'm so proud to be part of that. So again, thank you. On behalf of His Worship, Mayor Scott Gillingham, and my council colleagues, thank you. Thank you, thank you for every day that you are working towards making our province and our city that much better. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councillor Chambers, and I really appreciate you letting folks know, reminding folks about the summit that will be happening in September. It is going to be a historic gathering for Black people and really all communities here in Manitoba, in Winnipeg. And, you know, it's really interesting to hear what the journey of that summit has been for the Mikhail Jean Foundation and their organizers. This summit coming to Manitoba, for them, represents the first time that a provincial government is actually welcoming them to host the summit in their jurisdiction. First time ever. And that's something for us to be very, very proud of, that we have a government, that we have a province that is extending the invitation for historic gatherings like that to take place in our province. We need to let them know what Black Manitobans are all about. I didn't rhyme that on purpose, but hey. So let's make sure we get the word out. Let's make sure that summit is a huge, huge success, okay? Now, it is my absolute pleasure to introduce a friend and colleague. You all know him very well, Minister Jamie Moses. Something you may not know about Minister Moses, however, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? Something you may not know about Minister Moses is that it is his birthday in 3 days. Yes, yes. And what a wonderful, the timing of it, Black History Month. I think that means that we should all take a moment to not only wish him happy birthday, but sing him happy birthday, yeah? Yeah. So if Minister Moses, if you wouldn't mind standing up. This is our Minister of Business, Mining, Trade, and Job Creation. He is going to come up and share a few words, but when he's up here, he's almost there. We should probably say, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Minister Moses. Yeah. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you so much. Wow. I didn't know what they were going to say, but it was, oh my gosh, even more embarrassing than I could have imagined. No, I'm joking. Thank you so much. It's too kind. But genuinely, happy Black History Month. This is amazing. I love this month. February is great. Not just because I get to celebrate my birthday, but because I get to celebrate Black history, Black excellence. I look around this room and I see it. I see it in your faces. I see it in the music, in the entertainment, in the art, in the culture, in the work that happens in this building. I want to just begin by shouting out the work that it takes to put on this event. We've got incredible Black staff who work in the legislature here, who work in government, and a diverse team who helped to put this on. So if you're part of that, help wave your hand. Let's be acknowledged. Get your flowers for putting this on. We work with a diverse team, and I want you to get recognized. We also have colleagues from the Manitoba legislature on different sides, but I want to highlight my colleagues who I work with in the NDP caucus, who help to support the Black community every single day. Whenever we bring up things that are going on in the Black community, they're the first to listen and champion these issues alongside of us. I see here we've got Minister Nellie Kennedy, we've got MLA Tyler Blaschko, Minister Nahani Fontaine, Minister Lisa Naylor, and I'm not sure if there's any others that I'm seeing on our side. But when we work together, we get to do big things. And when we work across government, we do big things. When we work with all of you, we do even bigger things. And so when we added up our support across government, we found that we highlighted and funded $1.2 million in investments that support the Black-led organizations right across Manitoba. That's incredible. These were funding projects like Sports Without Borders, or Manitoba Women for South Sudan, or directly to Black History Manitoba, or the Pan-African Legacy. Or it helps deliver assistance to cultural programming or community-led initiatives that impact families and lives of Manitobans. And that's so important, that the work you do lifts up communities and is supported by our team. So I wanted to highlight the important people who make that happen. In addition, some of those funds go to lead Black-owned businesses. And so we're so happy to announce for the first time last year $200,000 of support to support over a dozen Black-owned businesses in Manitoba here. Those folks receive grants and receive the support of this government to upskill, to show mentorship, show training, and make sure they have the ability to compete on the business and entrepreneurial efforts. And as was mentioned, I'm so glad that our government was the team that's welcomed the National Black Summit, the summit that is run by the Michael Jean Foundation, former Governor General of Canada, the first Black Governor General of Canada, to host the National Black Summit right here in Winnipeg, September 18th to 20th. So I want to make sure that each and every one of you are there, that you're registering. It's open to all. Be there. Put it on your calendars. Bring out your phones right now. Mark the date. Put a hold in the calendar. September 18th to 20th. And I'm so glad that working alongside our team in our government, including Minister Asagwara and Kennedy, that we were able to provide $100,000 to support the National Black Summit to come right here to Winnipeg. We know that our Black history extends in Manitoba for generations, for centuries, quite frankly. And we know that it's important for us to work together, to understand that that struggle that we face together is something that's rooted in hope. It's something that's rooted in us overcoming. Every struggle is rooted in that hope, that belief that we will overcome it and we will have a better community tomorrow. Better community, better family, better outcomes for our children in the future. And so whenever there's a challenging time, whenever there's a struggle, we want to be there to support. And we know that in communities right here in Manitoba face the challenges, particularly around, in the last 6 months, around Hurricane Melissa that impacted the Jamaican community. The Jamaican Manitoban community here is so rich, so vibrant, so impactful in community, in arts, in culture, in healthcare, in business, in every aspect. And we want to make sure that as a government, we support those who are having a difficult time in Jamaica as a result of Hurricane Melissa. And so we're so happy as a government to announce that we're providing $40,000 of support to Red Cross to help with the recovery efforts in Jamaica. And to that end, I want to acknowledge and invite up Dr. Lloyd Stewart-Archer, who's the Honorary Consul to Jamaica, just to bring a few words on behalf of Jamaica and on behalf of the Jamaican Manitoba community here in Manitoba. Dr. Lloyd Stewart-Archer, Honorary Consul of Jamaica.
Hello, everyone. Happy 45th Black History Month, Manitoba. Yay! I'm here to say thank you. I'd like to start with our Premier Kinew, our Deputy Premier Asagwara, and Minister Moses, and of course, the Government of Manitoba and my fellow Manitobans, thank you. So on behalf of the Government of Jamaica, the High Commissioner in Ottawa, and Jamaicans and fellow Jamaicans and friends of Jamaicans, I want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so very much. It's in times like these when you know who your allies and friends are. So when hurricane hit, Manitobans pulled together, and we want to say thank you so much for your support. You responded in a big way. In Jamaica, we have the saying, every mickle make a muckle. That means every little bit counts. And you have, from the smallest in terms of your donations and your support to the largest. And we have a great example here, Manitoba government. We want to say, again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. So I know you've seen the videos and you've seen the photos and you've seen the devastation. I have a brother who was on the ground and he said, you know, it's one thing to see those videos, one thing to see those photos, but to be on the ground standing right there, it's like it's a war zone, where you have entire communities where there are no roofs, or you have the monoliths with no roofs, right? Entire communities have been devastated, razed to the ground. So of course you're going to have people who are going to be traumatized, and we are seeing a fair bit of that. So what I'm asking you to continue to do is to continue with your support, with your prayers, and just to stand with us as allies. We say thank you from the bottom of our hearts, and again, thank you so much, Mr. Moses.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. So once again, I want to wish you all a very happy Black History Month. We know that what we do together is stronger because we are united around the idea that tomorrow can be better than today, that hope will outweigh fear. And I see in the looks of the faces and the people in that room that you share that same spirit, that same sentiment. And so, once again, let's keep building a Manitoba that we can all be proud of, all be welcome to live in, and all be part of as a part of our great Manitoba. So happy Black History Month. Thank you.
I want to say to media to start tearing down your microphones and stuff when he wasn't done speaking is a little anti-Black during Black History Month, but we'll give you a little bit of a pass. We'll give you a little bit of a pass. Thank you to the folks who are still here. Respectfully, thank you very much. Thank you, Minister Moses, for being just a phenomenal, phenomenal leader and such a great leader in the Black community, but really all communities. Minister Moses has had a really incredible journey to politics, has worked hard to be where he is, and I know because I hear it from so many young people in our communities, you set a wonderful, wonderful example for all people in this province and certainly folks in our community. So thank you so much for your leadership. Yeah. Folks, thank you so much for being here today. This was a wonderful celebration. This is Black History Month in Manitoba. This is something to be proud of. Please stay socialized, build relationships, and remember that we don't just celebrate Black History Month in February. We, in Manitoba, celebrate Black History Month 365 days of the year. We are one Manitoba. We are one people. Be proud. Happy Black History Month.